I want to make sure I get this right. Operating Engineer Apprentice.
Yes.
Adelaide Stowe. Mm-hmm. I like your story. Like, you landed here in Seattle in your early teens. Can you tell me all about that? But stop after you get to your first job.
So, moved across the country from Chicago, and my first couple years were pretty tumultuous. I went to 4 new schools in 2 years.
That's a lot of change.
Yeah. So it made me very adaptive. Then I had half a year of 10th grade before COVID happened. And then
Folks in your age bracket were really robbed of a lot of normal life rhythm stuff.
Everyone my age had like the same thing.
And then you get your first job. Where was that?
Right after I graduated high school, and it was in the cafeteria at Fred Hutch Cancer Center.
And that's where I met you. And before we go any further, I need to say thanks to you, and by extension to your former coworkers at the coffee bar. Mm-hmm. All of that was during the pandemic. You guys weren't just selling coffee. You were giving little cups of normal at a time when normal felt like an insane luxury. So I want to show my appreciation to you by buying you a cup of coffee.
Oh, you're kidding. Thank you so much.
I hope you like lattes.
Oh, I do very much, yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, yeah. No, I came in actually right after the pandemic when we were reopening. So my knack for being adaptive to different situations really kicked in as I was moved from like location to location to help fill in for people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they work tremendously hard.
It seems like a high-pressure job, too. I mean, we work with a lot of doctors and nurses who work with sick people, but if you're running the cash register and making lattes and there's 10 people in line, that's pressure.
It's pretty crazy. I do want to extend a year's worth of gratefulness to the people of Fred Hutch. They will wait forever for their coffee, and sometimes they have to.
I spoke to your manager.
Oh, my current one, yes.
He said that one day you approached him while you were working as a barista.
I cornered them constantly.
Yeah. He told me that his reply to you was that anybody who got a boiler operations certificate would have a head start. Once he said that to you, what did you do?
Paid $999 of my own money to take a boiler class in Renton, and I did that every Saturday for 10 weeks, and I got qualified. And I did that before there was even a job opening. I did that before there was a job offer. At that point, I didn't care. I was like, well, probably at some point there will be. He's told that to a large number of people, and I'm the only one who's ever actually done it.
A lot of older people these days complain about Generation Z, 12 to 26. Who they say are lazy, who don't have a good work ethic. I haven't personally experienced that. In fact, I see a lot of interns coming in here, and I'm kind of blown away by them. I know I'm the dumbest person in the room when I'm with a bunch of interns. What's your response to people my age when they talk about people your age?
I'm living in a world where I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford a home. I don't know what it's going to look like in 10 years economically, if my job will even be sustainable for that. I know a lot of my friends who are in college right now, they're looking for jobs. You can see how many people apply to certain jobs, and you'll get like hundreds of applications on the first day. I mean, I never made it to the interview process until the final time I applied, and that was after I went out and got my boiler license. And that was a huge, huge push.
So that did work.
It did work. It
worked.
did actually work. So
that's the secret sauce right there.
Yeah. If your boss tells you to do something, it's going to give you a head start. It most likely will.
Clue.
Yeah, right.
So you know the Gallup poll, the company Gallup, they do nationwide surveys. A lot of politicians and media companies use them to find out what's in the hearts and minds of big, broad swipes of the demographics in our country, right? And so in September, they released the results of a nationwide survey in which they talked to 3,000 Generation Z Americans, and they found some interesting things. One of them is that less than half, 47% of Gen Z Americans are thriving in their lives. What's that about?
The job market is like almost abysmal. It's like predatory where it's like, oh, you want a bachelor's degree for me to work $15 an hour some places. Like, are we kidding?
Yeah.
Like, you're paying all this money for a degree and then it's not actually valued in society as it should be. And I think the internet also like drives this perfectionism in people. Everything has to be perfect. You have to look perfect, act perfect, have the perfect job, live the perfect way. You can do things badly. I do things badly all the time.
Yeah.
I'm
glad Instagram wasn't there to document my failures when I was in my 20s.
Everything's so public.
Right?
Everything's so online. You can just see everything. Like, it's just, it's bizarre to me.
Yeah. So I have one last question for you, and it goes back to that Gallup poll in which it says most Gen Z Americans believe their future is bright. However, they also feel that they're not prepared for it. So as someone who did get prepared, maybe you can wrap this up for us and talk directly to that person who's struggling to get prepared. How did you do it? What was your thought process? How did you execute? How did you get that done?
I've been like diagnosed like anxiety my whole life. I've been worried about the future, worried about this, worried about that. I worry about every single thing. I still do. But I think you have to be prepared to change, and I think you have to be prepared to fail. You will grow up and you will change. But a lot of people are afraid of that because they've been one way for so long that it's difficult to stray away from that. So I think not being prepared comes for like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen next. No one does. Yeah. That's okay. If you can't control it, let it go. It's okay. Yeah. And what you can control is an opportunity for you to do your best at it. And your best can look different each day. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be all the same all the time. No one has the capacity to just go all the time. Yeah. It's impossible. Take a rest. Take it easy. Be nice to yourself. Feeling prepared and being prepared are not mutually exclusive. You can be prepared all you want, and then if you're still feeling incapable, like some sort of like imposter syndrome or anything like that, it doesn't mean you're not prepared. It just means that you're having a bad day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I kind of just rambled a bit.
No, that was great.
Okay, perfect.
With that, I think we're done.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Okay.